Hi everyone, welcome back. This is a bit of a different video. I've been doing some IGTVs on the Instagram of things that I've been making and plans for stitching projects, but this is a bit of a different one. So this is how to make a macrame necklace similar to the one that I'm wearing now. You can use this video to make it yourself, or I do sell the kits on my Etsy, so this is what they look like. So in here you get a cheeky business card and you get 3 colours, so you can choose what colours you want. I'll try and put up the picture of the colours now so you can sort of see, but these are all on the Etsy that I'll link below. So these 3 are just 3 that I chose because I like them, and we're going to make the mustard one. These are all 4 metres long, and then in the kit you obviously get your instructions, which then you can go through and make it. But this video might be useful to just go alongside you making your necklace, and if there's anything you're a little bit confused about, this will obviously just sort of iron that out. So a few bits that you will need is a pair of scissors, some string, or you can use pegs or hair clips, or you can use grips or anything like that. It's just for you to make like a marker, a tape measure, and you will need a lighter. Obviously if you're young doing this you might want to get help at the end with that bit, and that's everything. Also with the kits, they're £12 on Etsy, and then you can, if you want to, add for a little additional cost some beads, so you can add it on. So these on here you can see I've got the silver ones on, which are these ones, or there's the wooden beads, or these ones are really popular, like the copper tubes. I'm going to use the copper tubes, but obviously you might have something that you want to use around the house. You've got kids with beads and bits, or just like me, you've got loads of crafty things. So you could thread things on if you want to. It's just a tie at the back, so there's no fastenings or anything faffy like that you have to do. So yeah, I think that's it. So I'll turn the camera and I'll show you me doing it and working through the instructions. Okay, so I've got you like this now, so you can see what I'm doing as I'm doing it. I'm going to go through step by step as you'll get it in the instructions. Step 1, we're going to choose the colour that we want. They always come sort of swizzled up, and then you can let them out. So I've got my end, and my mark 1 has got to be at 35 centimetres. So we're going to get our tape measure, and we're going to measure 35 centimetres, which is here, and we're going to put a mark. So as I said, you can use a peg or like a hair clip. It's just so we know that's where that is. So I'm going to use some string, so that's why you're going to need your scissors. So a little bit off there, double check we're on 35, and we're going to put just a little bow just so we can see where we are. So just loose, because you don't want to get that stuck on and then you won't be able to get it back off after. That's obviously, you don't want that. So, and then we're going to make a second mark from this mark, and that one's going to be 30 centimetres. So we're going to measure again, and that's our 30. We're going to cut a little bit more string, and we're going to mark again. Obviously, if these are, you know, a tiny little bit out, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's just obviously gets you to your starting point a little bit easier. And there we go. So we've got, this actually ends up being, this is the tail of your necklace. This is the bulk of your necklace. And then obviously we've got our long train, which is, you know, what we're going to use to actually make it. Fab. So mark 1, mark 2. Then you've got to create your curve. This honestly is probably the most complicated bit of the entire thing. Actually making the necklace is quite easy. So we've got to have mark 1, mark 2, and this is our end. So we're going to bring this round to this way. And then we've got to make sure this end is out of the way, but we create a cross. So give it a bit of a wiggle round and twist that. So what we need basically is our loop, which is the necklace. This way is the end that we forget about, which is on top. And then here is all our yarn that we're going to use to actually make the necklace. So this is mark 1, mark 2, and the mark 1 is sitting over the top of our working yarn, which is here. So that's that. So now we don't need to think about this section, and we're going to hold our cross and we're going to make sure that mark 2 is right at the end, because obviously if this is incorrect, your necklace is going to be a lot smaller than what it needs to be. If you obviously want to make it not as wide, that's something that you can decide later on, but at this point this is the marks that you want. So what we're going to do, let me turn you over. We want to bring our working yarn into a cross, and this is first going to go over and under, and we pull through. Obviously this is quite difficult at the moment because you've got quite a lot of yarn, but you've come over and under. And obviously at the moment it's always just best just to be holding this section quite tight, because at the moment it could be easy to quite slide. So next we're going to go back over and we're going to go under and pull through. And then you'll see here, this is your mark 1, and then we've gone over and under. It's like you're making a figure of 8 the whole time. So when we hold our first point, it's good just to keep everything just really snug up to this point. But obviously as you go along, it becomes a lot easier. At the moment, obviously things are prone to move. So again, we're going to go over this one and under, and we're going to pull through. And then we're going to come over and under like a figure of 8. If I can just show you that there, this is kind of what it's going to look like. And then when we snug it all up, you're obviously starting to create the necklace, but you want to snug it all right up to mark 1, and then you can see it's starting to build now. So at this point, once you feel like it's secure, you can actually take this marker off, because it can get in the way depending on what you've used, and you can just slide it off. So you'll see now you've got the end of your necklace and you've got our starters. And then again, and here's our loop. So we're going to go over and under and pull through. I'm going to do this a few times just so you can get to grips with it, and pull nice and snug. You don't pull too tight, but you'll kind of get the kind of tension you want here. And you're going to go over and under and pull through. Again, you can see we're just going to snug it up, not too far, because obviously we've took our marker out now, so you don't obviously want it to go any further, but it should be quite snug. So one last time, over and under and pull through, and we're going to go over and under and pull through. It does get easier as you obviously end up with less yarn, and then we're going to snug it all up. You want to make sure that these V's are quite even. So it's like that. To apologise, normally people doing YouTube videos have got lovely nails. I have not. So I'm going to carry on doing this now. We'll probably try and zoom this up a little bit quicker. We'll just do one more just in case. So over this one and under the next. Pull through. You want to make sure you keep this straight in your two legs, and you've got over and under. So you can do it as loose as you want, and then you can always just snug it up and work out how tight or loose you want it. You don't obviously want it too loose, and that's how we go. So I'm going to carry on, and then we'll speed this a little bit up. Now we're getting quite close, getting quite long now. You sometimes just want to give it a little bit of a flatten out, just like bump it together, because obviously you do get some bits that are looser, so you might want to just go and tighten those up. So you want to go until this tail is the same as your other tail, so it's good to just keep having a little measure. So we're still at, so this is still measuring around 50 centimetres. So we've got a little bit longer to go, but obviously it's up to you how long you actually want it to be. So if you wanted to stop at this point, that's fine. And obviously you just go to the final step. But if you want to keep going so it's a little bit longer, so it's completely up to you. You could just have it, you know, this long, and it just have a little curve if you wanted. But again, it's totally up to you, sort of how you want it to be. So we're going to keep going a little bit further. Again, it's just a guide that you're aiming for your tail to be the same as the first tail that you measured, because obviously that's the section that's going to tie. So that just gives us a bit of an indication of, you know, where we need to be. So we're still going over and under. You'd obviously be able to tell, you know, if you keep an eye, because if you have gone wrong, it'll be quite clear, because you won't have these like organised V's. So it's always best just to keep checking. You don't want to get to the end and realise that you've gone wrong somewhere. So it's good just to keep a little bit of an eye. So obviously we've still got quite a large loop here, which is right. And then we want to be looking for 35, about there. So it's just a bit of an ish. So when it comes to finishing off, you want to make sure you're snug where you want to be. And this is a little bit tricky. So at this point, you want to take your marker out, because you don't want to get in your necklace. And at this point, we're going to create the curve of the necklace, as well as getting rid of this loop. So the best thing to do is put your palm flat on your necklace. Obviously, when you pull this tight, you don't want it going too wrinkled up. So pull it nice and tight, and you want to pull the end we forgot about at the beginning, and you want to pull that tight. And as you'll see here, this loop's now disappearing. So you want to leave it till we get to about here, maybe a little bit more. And then we're going to make, because this is obviously quite straight, looks more like a bookmark, we want to give it that smile curve. So just so it sits nice and flat, you want to curve it round to where you want it. Give everybody a little bit of space. And again, palm flat, and just tighten it up. You obviously want this end to be nice and neat. There we go. You can fiddle about with this for as long as you want. So you'll end up with a smile. And obviously you can curve this up as much as you want. And obviously if you wanted to tighten it up, again, just tight. But you don't want to pull it too tight. This is kind of as tight as you sort of want to go. So then we've got our end. And then we'll have had the other end. So at this point, we want to neaten these up. So it's good to fold in half, lie them out together, because you will have had an end that's slightly different. And then we're going to chop these. So we've got a nice even. And then to finish off, you want to do a little knot. Well, actually, if you wanted to add any beads or so on, so I'm going to put these gold ones on here. So we're going to thread these on at this point. Obviously, if you're not going to pop any beads on, that's fine. And if you lose them like I've just have, oh, there we go. So if you want to pop your beads on, most yarns do fray. So you're going to find out how we sort that out now. So get those obviously to where you want to be. And then we're going to do a little tie in each end, just a normal knot. And we want to leave about 1 centimetre out on the ends. And the same with the other one. Like this. Give them another little snip just to neaten them off. Same with this end. And then this is where our lighter comes in. So as I said, if you're a little bit younger and not quite as confident, or you just rather have a little bit of help with this, it's always best to ask. So if we hold at the knot and we only want to give it just a little bit of a burn, and all it does, it just melts the yarn. So you're not going to end up with any frayed ends, or it's not going to unravel. So again, just a little bit, and that will be a little bit hot, so you just want to give it a couple of minutes just to cool down. And there we are, all finished. Love this mustard. Hi everyone, so yeah, we're all done. So here is the finished necklace, and we've got our beads on the side, but as I say, you can leave them off or you can put something else you might like on. I've even changed my headbands so much. But yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed the video and you will make some necklaces for yourself or friends. As I said, the kits are on my Etsy, so you can look below. We also do some macrame kits as well, so maybe that's something I'll try and do a video of soon, if that's the sort of thing you want to see. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed, and you'll make some necklaces yourself. Thank you, bye.